you are here because, whichever way you are here because you have passed or have been deemed ready to go through an interview. Now, this afternoon session is to give you an overview of the entire recruitment program. What is it about? Who are you going to work for? Who is your future employer? What is the salary? What is the working condition? Where in the US you are going? All those questions are going to be answered this afternoon. So just pay attention. Just mute your microphone, pay attention. When I'm done, there will be another presentation on preparing you for the interview proper. I believe most of you, if not all of you, have been called by now, and a convenient date for your interview had been agreed with you already. If you haven't been called yet and you know you have passed at least your second assessment exams, please get in touch as soon as this presentation is over. All right. So, okay, I think I need to mute everybody from my end. All right. So I've muted everybody. If you have, at the end of the session, you have questions, you unmute yourself before you speak. All right. So most of you, but a majority of you here today came recommended to us by either your friends or your siblings in the United States who know about us and our program here in Ghana. And yet there are a few of you who got our contact from friends who know about our program. But we are sure most of you don't have much information, or if you do, the right information. So we're going to give you better and further information. To start with, your future employer is called United Methodist Healthcare Recruitment. United Methodist Healthcare. In the US, they are called United Methodist Healthcare or United Methodist Nursing Agency. The rest of the presentation, you're going to know who they are. Now, the organization United Methodist Nursing Services is a huge organization. In September, that organization will be celebrating 125 years since its establishment. United Methodist will be 125 years old in September 2023. It started in 1898 as a small nursing home and had grown and branched out through several states in the United States and through network and other affiliated organizations in the US. Now, it has a recruitment agency as part of the bigger United Methodist organization. You will soon show it. You will soon see it. And the recruitment agency in the US called United Methodist Healthcare Recruitment set up an agency in the Philippines called Aguinaldo Recruitment Agency in the Philippines some 20 plus years ago to recruit nurses and other health workers from the Philippines to the US to work for United Methodist and the affiliated organization. Thank God today we have Agilnado Recruitment Agency in Ghana. So we have the same agency, the Philippine agency, we have the same agency in Ghana. And we recruit exclusively for United Methodist. Now, United Methodist Agilnado Recruitment Agency in the US was started by an employee of United Methodist in the US. She's a Filipino, a nurse, when she was the director of nursing for United Methodist. She's called Rosemary Policarpio. She began the recruitment agency, the recruitment unit of United Methodist. She was then the vice president of nursing for United Methodist organization in Chicago. In Chicago, if you ask anybody, you go into Wesley Place. It's a very known, it's a huge landmark, 125-year organization. You can be sure it is well known. Rose is currently the CEO of United Methodist Recruitment in Chicago, Illinois, and also the president of Agilnado Recruitment Agency, Ghana, and the president of Agilnado Recruitment Agency, the Philippines. We also have a branch in Liberia. Soon other countries will come on. This is a bit of some background of Rose. She's a nurse. She migrated in 1992 from the Philippines to the US. Just as, but in somewhere 1992, Rose was in the shoes you are wearing now, thinking and dreaming of migrating to the US. 94, she was in the US. She started working for United Methodist. Later, she got promoted 96 to become director of nursing. In the year 2005, she did her master's degree in nursing management from the North Park University in Chicago. And then in 2005, she started 2 recruitment agencies, the United Methodist Healthcare Recruitment and Agilnado Recruitment Agency in the Philippines, where she began recruiting nurses, physical therapists, and caregivers. Now, let's look at the organization United Methodist itself. So United Methodist, as I said, is a huge organization. Although there's the name Methodist in its name, 100 years ago, it was wholly owned by the Methodist Church. Today, the Methodist Church in the US has relinquished almost all their interest in the organization. Although in the current board, the board of United Methodist, there are Methodist people holding seats on the board. It began in 1898 as Home and Services Organization. They provide nursing and rehabilitation services. They provide low-income housing. They provide home care services. They provide dementia and Alzheimer's facility. They also have a huge information technology wing. And the last baby in the group is the United Methodist Healthcare Recruitment Services. There's a picture of an area view of Chicago. This is the front of Chicago Methodist Senior Services, the parent company of United Methodist Healthcare Recruitment Agency in Chicago. So this is where it's popularly known as the Wesley Place. This is the front view, or this is the back view. This is a building, Lecom. Lecom is a hospital, one of the hospitals in the United Methodist network. It's a huge hospital, has about 400 bed capacity. They also have a university, Lecom University. Now, apart from United Methodist Healthcare Recruitment Agencies, there is a network of healthcare facilities in the US that the United Methodist Recruitment Agency recruits nurses and caregivers for. Over 70 facilities, all in the US. Most of them are faith-based, not-for-profit healthcare agencies. Some are hospitals, some are nursing homes, some are hospice, long-term care, dementia care facility, rehabilitation centers, and what have you. And as you can see from the list, the Franciscan communities are in the Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky. And they are Catholic facilities. They are owned by the Catholic Church. Then you have the Jewish home family. You have, there's a Bethany, there's a Baptist. You carefully look, you see the Lutheran Social Ministry, and then the Redstone Presbyterian facility. So in the network of healthcare facilities that United Methodist is recruiting nurses and caregivers for are these 70 facilities. And these 70 facilities are spread over 20 states in the US. So Illinois, Indiana, Connecticut, Florida, Kentucky, New York, Louisiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Chicago, Chicago, Michigan, and all the way to Seattle, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin. Suffice to say that eventually you will have the opportunity to choose a state to work from, or the state to work in, a state to live in the US and to work in. Now, let me go back 2 steps. I missed a picture I need to show you. Sorry, 1 step. Okay, so I forgot to mention this picture. The lady in the picture in the spectacles and in the cap is Rose, the CEO of United Methodist Healthcare Recruitment Agency and the president of Agilnaldo Philippines, Agilnaldo Ghana, and Agilnaldo Liberia. Okay. Now, over the years, she has recruited thousands of Filipino nurses, Filipino caregivers, Filipino physical therapists, general Filipino health workers from the Philippines. Madam Fakad Mukoche, so I power. Major card na pakoche so. You need me a bit now. Last me kwache. I'm sorry, my power just went out and we just switched on to our backup. Sorry about that. So in your current picture, you will see a group of Filipino nurses that arrived in June 2022 in the States. So this is in the airport in the US, and that is Rose receiving them. Okay. There's another group that arrived in July, and you see Rose in the picture there. And this is part of the Wesley Place. This is part of the Wesley Place in front of the Wesley Place. This is Rose in Liberia, a group of Liberians that were recruited as caregivers. This is another group of Liberians in Sonoy County, graduation ceremony in July 28, 2022. This is still Liberia. Okay. Now, our program recruits two kinds of health workers for now. We recruit people who are called NCLEX RNs, and then we recruit caregivers. Our caregivers will go as CNAs, Certified Nurse Assistants. Now, the NCLEX program, as you know, is for nurses, and nurses from a broad categories, from diploma to degree, can do the NCLEX if you can prepare and take the exams. But in our sub-region, we have a peculiar case with our NCLEX program. The NCLEX exams is not written in Ghana. The only place you can write the NCLEX exams in Africa is to travel to South Africa. And we pay the cost for taking these NCLEX people to South Africa to write the exams. We pay their air tickets, their accommodation in South Africa, their feeding, transportation for the number of days they will spend in South Africa in taking the NCLEX. It cost us a minimum of $3,000 to send one person to South Africa to take the NCLEX. So you can imagine if that person is not well prepared to take and pass the exams, and you fly the person from Ghana to South Africa only for the person to fail, would have thrown money away. We don't want that to happen. So from a decision taken by the board of our company, for now, we have restricted our NCLEX program to those who have degree in nursing and have passed our 3 assessment exams. There are a number of you who took the NCLEX assessment exams and you failed. In fact, so far, we just have 1 or 2 people who have managed to pass the NCLEX assessment exam. Some of you tried the NCLEX assessment exams, you failed, but when we changed it for you to do the caregivers assessment exams, you easily passed. There are a number of reasons for that. Our environment, your practice, the tools, the equipment to enable you practice, to have that experience, to be able to take an NCLEX exams, which is more of a practical-oriented exams. We are limited in Ghana here in that area. So we don't want to rush you into the NCLEX. You can do the caregivers exams. When you pass, you do a CNA training, and then we take you, you go to the US. So either both the NCLEX and the CNA will end up in the US. Now, as CNAs, when you get to the US, we are going to pay for you, prepare you, train you to write the NCLEX in the United States, where now you'll be practicing with things and then in familiar environment, familiar to the NCLEX exams. Okay, so this is the rationale behind it. Now, when you do the NCLEX program, and we are taking you as an NCLEX RN to the US, these are the benefits you get. So we have an online NCLEX training program, 16 weeks for you, 16 weeks. We pay your NCLEX application fee. Sorry about that. We pay the NCLEX examination fee. Now the NCLEX examination fee today, when you put everything together, comes to about $1,100. $1,100. And that is if you are even going straight to do the NCLEX exams. If you're a diploma student and you want to do the, you have diploma in nursing, you want to do the NCLEX, you may have to go through another program called CGFNS. By the time you, through CGFNS, you arrive at the NCLEX, your fee is hitting $2,000 just for the exams. Okay, now, so we provide support in that area. Now, for whether you are an NCLEX or a CNA, will require you need to have some qualifications to be on our program. And this is a reason for the interview next week. You must have the right attitude. The right attitude is the can-do attitude, where when you face challenge, you overcome them. You don't complain. You solve problems, and then you move forward. You have the motivation, and you have the right recommendation. We have asked you to submit your letters of recommendation. Some of you have done so. Others are yet to do. We are waiting for it. You can go through the interview and you can go through the interview for now with just submitting your CV. But please, you will need the recommendation letter as you go along. And then, of course, complete the requirements. Okay, now, these are the documents we will need to help us prepare you for the US. The first document is a referral letter or a letter of recommendation. Your resume, that is your CV, your college certificate, your diploma certificate, your university certificate, your NMC certificate, your PIN. Now, when it comes to the visa screen, you'll get it along the line, we'll get it for you. And then we'll also need your IELTS. Now, when it comes to the IELTS, don't rush to take the IELTS exams yet. I will explain why. If you have taken it already, that is fine. We'll accept your IELTS exam results as you have it now. But if you are yet to take it, don't rush to take it. We will prepare you at the appropriate time and pay for you to take the IELTS exams. Now, and then we need your passport. If your passport is not ready yet, don't rush to do it. You have to do it yourself. We cannot help you in that. But please don't rush and go and pay, is it a fast track fee of 1,000 Ghana cedis plus? No, don't rush. You have all the time. Start now. Go and apply for the normal passport. It's going to take at least 3 months for it to come, because you're going to go through a 4 months training after you pass the interview. So, but if you start now, by the time you have finished the interview, your passport will be ready for you. We'll also need your academic transcript, your birth certificate. Now, those of you who need this list, please, you can take a screenshot now. These are the documents we will need from you to file for your green card. So, passport, transcript of record, birth certificate, the biometric, marriage certificate, if you are married and you intend to travel with your spouse, get the marriage certificate. If you bear your husband's name, get a gazette. Get it gazetted. We will need the gazetted document. Then ETA form, we will provide it as the time goes on. And then a signed contract. A signed contract, you'll get that after you pass the interview. As we go along, once you pass the interview and as you go along, the training, the time will come, you'll get a contract. This is the signed contract from your future employers that they have employed you as CNA or as RNs to come and work for them. These are the documents you will need to file for your green card. Now, the green card is actually a visa. The green card is actually a visa. The proper name for the green card is immigrant visa. Now, the green card, to get a green card, there are several routes to get a green card. You can get a family-based petition green card, you can get an employment-based petition green card. Then there's the visa lottery green card, I'm sure you're aware of it, and so on and so forth. Then there's also a EB2 green card, which is for management positions only. But whatever green card you get, it gives you permanent legal residency in the United States. Permanent legal residency, that's the green card. And the green card we're going to get for you is employment-based immigrant visa EB3 green card. Employment-based immigrant visa EB3. With this one, United Methodist in the US has employed you and is filing a petition for you to get your green card with your family, immediate family, to migrate to live in the States permanently to work for them. Okay. Now, the program comes at a cost. On your screen now is a breakdown of an idea of the cost. Let me stress that not all the cost items are here. Currently on your screen is the cost items for the NCLEX. So you see the NCLEX the registration fee and the application fee for the NCLEX. Once you have passed the NCLEX exams, the filing fee is $700 for your green card. When we have lawyers in the US that do the filing, they charge a minimum of $3,500 per applicant to file for your green card for you. Then your visa fee in Ghana here, when you're ready, when your green card is ready, you need to go for a visa. And we will book the visa for you when the time comes, when you have received your green card or have received approval for your green card. You get the approval, green card approval here in Ghana, but you receive the physical green card when you eventually arrive in the States. So when we file the green card and then it goes through the process and approved, you get a notification, an approval letter from the USCIS, the US Center for Immigration Services, that your green card has been approved. Then we pay your visa fee for you, the applicant. The visa fee today is $450 for the EB3 visa. This expedited fee, but the figure has changed, is now $3,100. Is to pay for this expedited fee is paid for your green card, so that the processes for getting the green card is fast track for you. When we file for your green card, it takes 6 to 8 months for your green card to be approved. 6 to 8 months for the green card to be approved. If it goes through the normal processes, 3 months. Sorry, if it goes through the normal processes, 6 to 8 months. But when you pay the expedited fee, it is fast track for you. 3 months, it should be ready for you. Now, once your green card is ready, you are 90% guaranteed to be in the States to get your visa and then fly. We will pay your air ticket. Your air ticket today is about $1,000, but today, as I checked, about $1,800. One person. And then the other cost, when you add it up, it comes to a little over $16,000. Now, out of this $16,000, United Methodist is going to pay about $11,000 to pay for the lawyer's fee, the expedited fee, your visa fee. You will pay this $700 when the time comes. We'll explain it to you. You have to pay for good reason. It is part of the fee you will be paying. And then the rest, United Methodist will pay to fast track it for you. You will notice that the fly you to South Africa to take the NCLEX and all the costs associated with that is not here. It's not part of the cost here. When you add it, the cost swells up into $20,000 plus. You need not worry your head about it. United Methodist will pay for that for you. But there is a portion you, the applicant, must pay. And that portion comes to about $5,000. $5,000, 5,000 US dollars, not Ghana cedis. I want to state it again because we have some interesting applicants. You come back and say, hey, 75,000 Ghana cedis, this is the way. I didn't say 5,000 Ghana cedis, 5,000 United States dollars. Okay. We had arranged that for this particular batch of our applicants, you pay part of the $5,000, half of it, $2,500, and the other half you pay, will do salary deduction when you arrive in the US. Just for the half of the $5,000, that is the $2,500 you couldn't pay here in Ghana. That is the only amount that will be deducted from your salary when you get to the US. Now, before I jumped, one second. Okay, Emmanuel, you're welcome. Now, before I jump, for CNAs, your fees are similar. In fact, for CNAs, there's an extra cost. Unfortunately, I don't have it in the presentation here, but your fee is slightly higher. There's an extra cost before we can file for your green card. There are some processes United Methodists must file in the US for you. They need to advertise in the US, big national dailies, get people to apply, and then let's say they need 500 CNAs, they advertise, and they have 100 Americans applying. Then they do the interview, offer the employment, those who will take it up. The ones that is left, plus those who do not apply, the 400, they prepare that document and send it to the Department of Labor and show to them that we needed 500 CNAs. We advertised, we only got, say 100. And even that 100, not all of them had taken up the employment. So we need more, we need to go to Ghana to bring nurses from Ghana to come and work for us. Give us the permission to go to Ghana to go and bring these foreigners. Now, all those processes involve costs and timelines, okay, for CNAs. For NCLEX, that has already been done, and that cost is not even added here. So the cost for CNAs comes to about $17,000. Same things, once that part of the process is completed, filing fee the same, lawyer's fee, visa fee, premium processing fee, air ticket, all the cost remains the same. All right, now, let's say you have finished the interview, you have passed, you have gone through the 16 weeks training, you have sat your final exams, you have passed. Now, before I forget, please remember I said CNAs will write their final exams here in Ghana. In fact, when the time comes, you come to our offices. It is the approved exam center for CNAs in Ghana. You come and write the exams here. Although the exams is online, you come to our office to come and write it. With that, you are not flying to South Africa. You do it here. Now, so as CNA, you have written your final exams, you are passed. As NCLEX, you have written your final exams, you are passed. You have written your IELTS, you have passed. Now, for IELTS, NCLEX, RNs, the IELTS we require is IELTS standard. The standard IELTS or IELTS academic. 7.0 band, 7.0 speaking minimum. And then for CNAs, we require IELTS general, which is slightly easier than the IELTS academic. 6.0, 6.5 band score, and then 6.0 English speaking. Please bear that in mind. Assuming all this is ready and we are ready to file for your green card, we prepare the documents, the list of documents I mentioned earlier, your passport, certificate, birth certificate, marriage certificate, all the works. Put them together, your CV, put them together, and then file it to the US Center of Immigration Services. When we file, within 1 month, you get a receipt, an official receipt from them that, yes, they have received your filing for green card. You're going to go through that process, everything. They'll tell you everything. Then we wait 6 to 8 months for it to be approved. When we pay the premium processing fee, it's approved much earlier. Once that is done, you have the approval, then you know you are 90% an American. It is left with your visa. Now, the visa is where there is much delay. And the visa, we can only apply for it here in Ghana at the US Embassy. We have absolutely no control over the visa. It is entirely the decision of the US government, and for extension, the US Embassy. But suffice to know, to cool you down, that once you have the green card, and you're going to get the green card approval first before you apply for the visa. Once you have the green card approval, you are 90%, you have a 90% chance of getting the visa. Provided you go to the interview and present yourself well, you don't go and make mistakes. Okay. Now, once you go to the interview, you pass 2 weeks, they're going to stamp your passport with your visa and then send it by DHL to you. Then we'll send you your ticket and then you fly. Now, when you get to the US, these are your employment benefits. For NCLEX, your salary is what we call the prevailing wage. You earn the prevailing wage in the US, $30 to $40 per hour, $30 to $40 per hour. And you stand a chance of going through a monthly evaluation based on your performance. Sorry, 3 months evaluation or 6 months evaluation. But there will always be a yearly evaluation. Where there is evaluation, you know there's going to be salary increase. You also have medical and dental insurance. You're going to enjoy sick time of 6 days. Because you are paid per hour, when you fall sick and you don't go to work and you are not clocked, you will not get paid. So if you are sick, you don't get clocked, and therefore you don't get paid. But as a condition of service for you, when you are sick, you get 6 days full salary. So let's say you are an NCLEX RN and you fall sick and you are not able to go to work for more than 6 days. You're going to get $30. If you work an 8-hour shift, $30 times 8 times 6. Okay, as your salary for being sick. Then you will have 10 days vacation and then 6 days holidays plus 100,000 plus retirement fund when you retire. As for Social Security is law. So one of the first things we'll be doing for you when you fly to the US is your Social Security. The first 2 months when you arrive in the US, we're going to do your help you do your Social Security, get your Social Security number. These are the other benefits you're going to enjoy. Airfare for you only. If you are traveling with your spouse and your children, you will pay the air ticket for them, but we will pay your air ticket for you. Then you're also going to get free housing for the first 2 months. Free housing for the first 2 months. You're going to live in United Methodist provided accommodation in Chicago when you arrive. You're also going to receive assistance for grocery and shopping. You're going to get food, assistance to Social Security, driving around town, going to go anywhere, and then paid orientation. First 2 months, you're going to go through orientation. Now, the first 2 months, when you are going, you go alone. Unless you and your spouse are together in this program, you are going through the program, then you go together. But if you are alone, you are the only applicant, your spouse is not an applicant on this program, you first go alone for the first 2 months. You go through orientation, you find your bearings, you work for 2 months, you get salary, you get some money. For CNAs, $6,000, $7,000 first 2 months, you can easily get. And you use that to pay for your family's tickets and for them to fly to join you. Okay. I believe you are getting the picture so far. Now, for United Methodist paying over $11,000 for you, you are not going to pay back that money from your salary. There's not going to be any salary deduction. There's not going to be any salary deduction for the payment they have made for you. You are not going to pay back that money. Nobody is going to withhold your passport or your visa or your green card when you get to the US. They are your property. Nobody is going to withhold it. But you're going to sign an agreement here when you pass your interview whilst you go along the program. Your employment contract that will come. You sign an agreement that when you arrive in the US, you'll be bonded to work for United Methodist or if affiliate partners for a minimum of 3 years if you go as an NCLEX RN. 4 years if you go as CNA. So CNA 4 years, NCLEX RN 3 years. No salary reduction. The only salary reduction we do is that part of the $5,000 you were not able to pay here in Ghana. That is the salary reduction we're going to do. And the deduction will be an agreement between you, yourself, and ourselves. Some want it done in 1 month, some want it done in 1 year, some want it done in 10 years. We will sign an agreement with you on it. But if you want it done a little longer, there will be an interest on it. If you want it done in a shorter period, no interest. If you're an internal, you're free. All right. So I think that is it. Yes. So this is the overview of the whole program. As we go along, you will get better and further understanding as we go along. At this point, I want to pause. If you have any question, please unmute your microphone, raise your hand. Don't raise your physical hand. If you raise your physical hand, I will not see it. On the Zoom, there's an application, you can raise your hand, you ask your question. Once I see your hand, I'll call you, and then you ask your question. Okay, so I have the first person hand up. Priscilla Sapong, your hand is up. Please unmute your microphone and ask your question.
Okay, sir. Sir, please, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Please, I'm fine. Please, I saw in one of the slides that when you are going as a single person, you would have to go first. Then if probably you would want to come for your partner later, then you come. A lot of those who have already married and are willing to go with their partners at once.
Okay.
Does that include them?
Okay, Priscilla, I think you have asked a good question. I think I didn't explain it well. Let me explain it well. When you want, if you want to travel with your immediate family to the US on this program, it is allowed. Now, you need to let us know right from day one, from today, on your CV, that you are married, you have X number of children. During the interview, you'll be asked, or along the program, will ask you want to travel with your families? I'm sure I have asked most of you that question already. So that when we know, during the time we are filing for your green card, filing the petition for your green card, we will add your spouse and your children. So that when the green card approval comes, your spouse and your children will also have their green card approved. During the time for the visa, we pay for you, you pay for your spouse and your children's visa fee for $80. We will pay for you, you pay for your family. And then the air ticket will pay for you, pay for your family. Now, so before you will leave Ghana, if you intend to travel with your family, but by the time you are leaving, your family's green card is ready. You are paid for their visas, their green card is ready. But for the first 2 months, you will go alone. Your family cannot come with you for the first 2 months. Because that first 2 months, we need your full, undivided attention to go through a lot of things, just for the first 2 months. Then after that, your family can join you. Priscilla, have I answered your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Most welcome. Good. Then on the chat box, I see, okay, Abigail, I see your hand up. 1 minute. Let me read the messages on the chat. So Emanuela Pia Kweku says, thank you. Emmanuel, you're welcome. Albert Kwejo, I have really enjoyed it. Thank you, sir. Albert, you're welcome. Bright says, please, talking about the deduction, is there any way you can pay in full before leaving? Oh, yes. We wish that all of you pay your fees in full here before you go. We'll encourage you to pay here. But for whatever reason you are not able to pay, then we have a plan B where you pay part here and the other part when you arrive in the US. Okay, so Bright, I hope I've answered your question. Adwa says, please, do we have to finish serving the 3 years before I can ride the NCLEX whilst in the US? No, Adwa, you are not listening. I said, as soon as you arrive in the US, we start preparing you for your NCLEX. As soon as you arrive. Then Elizabeth says, please, if you are a single parent, will you, okay, so will your visa cover for your minor kids? It depends. How old is your kid? And it comes to visa, it's entirely the rules of the United States government. So look at the rules on visa and visa for minors for that matter. Okay. Osai says, I'm loving this conversation. Thank you, Osai. Rocklin, please, some of us had a traditional marriage with no marriage certificate. How do we also get about it? Oh, my dear, for all those who have traditional marriages, please, we want marriage certificate. So go and get it documented by the court and get the certificate. It's just a day's activity and you have your certificate done. Job says, for English proficiency exams, is OET accepted? My dear brothers and sisters, we accept only IELTS, nothing else. Okay. Now let's look at those who have their hands up. Abigail, please unmute your microphone and ask your question. Abigail Sewanimo, please unmute your microphone and ask your question. All right, we don't seem to have Abigail ready. Somebody with iPhone. That's the only name I see. iPhone, your hand is up. Okay, iPhone, we cannot hear from you. The next person is Bella. Hello, Bella.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Bella. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Please, I want to be sure about the diploma nurses. I want to have a clarity there. After working for how many years before we can also write the answers, or are we the same as the degree nurses? When we get there, we prepare us to write the answers.
Okay, that's a good question. With diploma nurses, you have option. You can choose to do the NCLEX program, but you have to go through a two-stage process. First, you need to do what we call a CGFNS credential evaluation. And then later you get registered for the NCLEX. You cannot do the NCLEX registration direct. Maybe I have to seek clarification. No, you cannot do the NCLEX registration direct. You need to go through CGFNS. And then you do the NCLEX. But you can also choose to do the CNA, not to go through the two-stage process, which involves cost. Go through the CNA. When you arrive in the US, you do the NCLEX in the US. So you have an option to take, but the rest of you is either CNA or NCLEX.
Okay, and please, I want to know what the CNA really does or what they really do. Their job
Sorry?
description and stuff. What
Sorry?
the CNA do? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You said what? You want to know what?
I want to know what the CNA do because in Ghana we don't have CNA, and I don't know their job description and stuff. So I want to know what the CNA do.
You can easily Google the job description of CNA. You get all. But as you have asked, in fact, as I said, the CNAs will go through a 16-week training. The whole training is concentrated on the laws regulating CNAs. CNA to practice, you need a license just like the RNs. Your job description, you provide assistance to the nurses. You provide assistance to the registered nurses, but there are specific things CNAs can do. You need a license, you need to go to training, you need to write exams, 2 sets of exams. A theory exams, which is MCQ, multiple choice questions, and a practical exams, 21 nursing skills exams. So there's a whole book on CNAs and what they do. It's the reason for the training program. You will know everything by the time you are done with the training. But if you can't wait, just Google the job description of CNA, you get everything there. All right. The next person I see whose hand is still up is faculty Owusu Ansan. Who is faculty Owusu Ansan?
Okay, good evening, sir.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm doing good. Please, my question is, when you are presenting, you didn't mention the salaries of the CNA.
Oh, that's a big omission. Salaries for the CNA, okay, so salary for caregivers is between $15 to $18 for caregivers, and then $20 to $25 for CNAs.
Okay, so what's the difference between caregivers and the CNA?
Oh, Chief, these are things you can easily Google and find out.
All right, thank
you. It's like asking me, what is the difference between a midwife and a nurse? Jesus Christ. It's a whole different professions. They are 2 different professionals. Or asking me, what's the difference between a nurse and a doctor? 2 different professionals. But caregivers are nurses, all right. But let me clarify something. Probably is the reason for these questions. Who can do the CNA program? On this program, remember, we are in the United States, not Ghana. In the United States, that is where you can change. Today, you said, I'm a lawyer. Tomorrow, I want to go to medical school and become a doctor from law school. And you can easily walk into a medical school and do your medicine. Or today, you are an accountant and I want to go and do law. You go into the law, you just walk into the law school and do your law. In Ghana, that is not possible. If you want to be a nurse in Ghana, you should have started science when you were in your mother's womb and stayed on that path till the day you die. Okay, so with that background, we recruit people from diverse background, not just health background, not just nursing background, but from diverse background to do the CNA program. Okay. All right, let's see the last few questions. I have one more presentation on the interview and the questions to be asked and how to prepare yourself. So Loretta asked, please, I didn't get this clear. Please, did you say if you are a single mother, you should add it to your CV? Yes, that is what I said. Indicate your marital status and your children's status on your CV. If you don't indicate it, none of us will know that you are a single mother, and therefore when you are filing, we'll exclude your kids. So please indicate that. Then RB says, I couldn't get some of the presentation due to network challenges. I want to know how long will the process take before you get US visa and start work? Oh, that's a beautiful question. So it's good. The whole process is going to take between 16 months to 24 months, and sometimes 3 years, depending on your peculiar circumstances, but majority between 16 months to 24 months for the process to be concluded for you to be in the US. Then Philomena, so please, as a midwife here in Ghana, which one will you do, the CNA or the caregiver? You will do the caregiver assessment exams. When you pass the interview, you do the CNA. So you go as a CNA, not as a caregiver. You are a midwife. Then probably the last question, please, as a CNA, how soon can I register to take the NCLEX when I get to the US? Like I said earlier, as soon as you arrive, we pay for you to prepare you to write the NCLEX. All right, I think that is all for now. If you have further questions, you have all. Okay, so somebody from there, please, I'm asking this question with regards to the IELTS. I'm pursuing the CNA course. I already have the IELTS UKVI academic. Do I need to take another IELTS? No, once you have written the IELTS already, that is fine. But from henceforth, don't do the IELTS until we tell you so. Please, I have not yet gone to the nursing school. Oh boy. Please, I have not yet gone to the nursing school. Can I pursue the caregiver's course? Yes, you can pursue the caregiver's course. iPhone says, I have an overall ban of 7. Hey, this woman, will accept it. As long as it is not expired. You know, the IS results expires in 2 years, and you still need to have a valid. Fine, okay, academic is fine. Yes, we'll accept it. Is the caregiver different from CNA? Yes, it is different from CNA. Yeah. All right, let's go to our next presentation quickly. We have an interview coming up starting Tuesday. So from Tuesday next week all the way to Saturday, you'll be going through interviews. You have been called already and your interview dates agreed with you already. Regina, please, is it compulsory to indicate your marriage status and case on your resume, even if you will be going alone for now? Oh, if you are going alone, don't indicate it. It is not compulsory.
Hello, sir.
It is not compulsory. All I'm saying is if you don't indicate it, we will not know and therefore make provision for you. All right.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes.
Please, what about, good afternoon, sorry.
Go ahead.
Please, what about IELTS with bounce score of 5.5?
Sorry?
Sir,
IELTS with what?
5.5 overall band score.
Which of the IELTS?
UKVI.
Academic. And you are doing NCLEX or CNA. If you are doing NCLEX, you have to retake it. But if you are doing CNA, then that's fine.
Okay.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thanks. You're welcome. All right. Now the interview. Now, as you are aware, you were made aware from the beginning of the program, you are now being prepared for the interview. This interview is a job interview, and success in it will earn you an employment contract. And we need your employment contract, your exam certificate plus your IELTS to file for your green card and your visa. The interview is not going to be a panel interview. It's not going to be a competency test. It's not going to be an assessment, a virtual assessment, but it's going to be a one-on-one dialogue with an interviewer. So there's going to be one applicant to one interviewer. The interviewer is going to be a representative of United Methodists in the United States. Representatives of United Methodist Recruitment Services in the United States, they are going to interview you. If you fail that interview, that is the end of the road for our program for you. You need to pass that interview. And to pass that interview, please note the following points down and abide by them religiously. Now, the interview is going to be over Zoom. Always remember to mute your button when you are not speaking. During this Zoom meeting, you hear people talking about Benku and Fufu and Kokonte. Your interviewer need not hear that. Mute your microphone. Always remember that. Look into the camera when you are speaking. Choose a professional background. You see what I'm talking about? It's exactly what I'm talking about. Find a brightly lit room. Pick a quiet space. On that day, the interviewer does not want to know the number of children you have in your house. We are not interested in you are a married woman and you have children in your house and your children are screaming and jumping over. We don't want to know. Get a quiet place, quiet background, silence your phone, maintain your focus, turn off all notifications on your machines, use a laptop or desktop computer, preferably. You may also use your cell phone if you don't have a laptop or the circumstances such that you cannot use your laptop or desktop. Charge your laptop fully. The last interview we did, we were doing the interview and the applicant's laptop went off. Find a good internet connection. We know most of you are working in remote areas where the internet is not good. On that day, the excuse that, oh, I have poor internet network is not going to help you. If you need to travel from that bad location to a good location for just 30 minutes, the interview will not last more than 30 minutes. For just 30 minutes, stay at a good spot, do the interview and finish and go back to whatever you are doing. If you need, you already know your schedule. You know the date you want to do the interview. Ask permission. It is not now that we want to see busy nurses running helter-skelter, and then, hello, sir, what did you say? Sorry, I didn't get the question. No, please. Let's be professional about this. Communicate with your household to maintain a peaceful environment during the interview. Wear professional attire. Whatever your profession is, wear the attire of that profession. So if you are a nurse, wear your professional dress. If you are a teacher, wear your professional dress. If you are a lawyer, wear your professional dress. Keep your screen clear. Practice using Zoom. On that day, you cannot have somebody standing behind you. Okay, click here, press here. If you want to share your screen, click here to share. Please no. If you don't know how to do it now. You intend travel to the United States. That is the technology capital of the world. Begin to live like it. Use appropriate body language. When you come to the interview, sit up straight, speak loud. Okay? You are not going to muamua yourself during the interview. Ask your interviewer questions. During the time of the interview will ask you, do you have any question for me? Think of a question now. Start preparing questions you ask your interviewer. Now, to mute your microphone, Zoom has a feature where you can mute your audio. This is a great feature to use whilst your interviewer is speaking for long periods. While using the mute button, they cannot hear anything on your end. This is useful where there are loud sounds in your household, such as dogs barking or children playing. But on that day, please move away from dogs barking and children playing. Keep yourself on mute as they speak. Keep yourself on mute as they speak. Can help your interviewer feel more focused on what they want to tell you. Look into the camera. As I'm talking to you now, when I look into the camera, you think I am looking at you, but you are not here. So looking into the camera, create the impression that you are paying attention to the interviewer. You know, in a face-to-face interview, one of the good sign of interviewing skills is when you have an eye contact with your interviewer. Look straight into the eye of the person. It shows you are confident. The Zoom does not have, I mean, it's online. You are not interacting with your computer. You're interacting with your computer. So when you look into the camera, the interviewer feels you are now addressing him and you have an eye contact with him. Please remember that. The previous people we interviewed, you interview them and they are looking down and they are answering, they are talking. So can you tell me about yourself? My name is so and so, I come from so and so, and I work here. No. Look into the camera when you are addressing or answering the questions. Choose a professional background. Choose an area where it is tidy, free of clutter. The background is sparse rather than busy, looking professional. If you can set up in front of a blank wall, so you look at my back, blank wall like this is professional. We don't want a situation where people are crossing, your children are running behind, your husband is in t-shirt or a singlet walking about in the bedroom and the hall. We don't want that. You will fail if you do that. Okay. Find a brightly lit room. Your interviewer needs to be able to see your body language and facial expression during the interview. Choose a room with good lighting so they can easily see you. Setting your interview space facing a window that lets in a lot of natural light is a great idea. So as you can see, I'm sitting next to a window and I'm sitting in a way that you can see my face. When I turn my face like this and my back is showing the window, you see that my face has become black, darkened. We call it silhouette. We don't want that. Turn your face to face the window or your side to face the window so that your interviewer can't see your face. Pick a quiet spot. Choose an area that is quiet and free of distractions. This way, your interviewer can direct their full attention to what you have to say. A room where you can shut the door is an ideal space for the interview. Limit other noises by closing windows and turning off your music or the television. Silence your phone. It's not during the interview that you're going to receive phone calls. And then your phone is going to do wing wing when you're receiving text, WhatsApp messages and text messages. No. If you are using a laptop, switch off the phone and dump it somewhere. 30 minutes. If the world will come to an end because you have switched off your phone for 30 minutes, so be it. Okay. Maintain your focus. While speaking to your interviewer, keep your focus on the screen, like you would in an in-person interview. Show them that you are paying attention to what they have to say through active listening. You can nod your head.
Hey.
Hello, Peggy. We just talked about this. Why did you mute your microphone when you are making the noise? Why do you unmute? Now, you can nod as the person is talking, or you can respond, yes, yes, to show the person you are listening. Okay, don't sit down quietly as if you are interrogating the person, and then when you finish before you start speaking. It's not a courtroom. They want an active interaction between you and them. They want to see you are matured, maturity. Don't behave childishly during the interview. Some people, there was once an applicant who came in singlet. Yes, Abigail. Abigail, are you talking to me?
No, please.
Then please mute your microphone.
Yes, please. Sorry.
There was an instance where an applicant came to the interview in singlet, a nurse, and he was disqualified. It means you are not prepared. 10 notifications during the interview. You should not be receiving a notification on your phone that will be distracting you, or your pop-ups on your laptop screens that will be distracting you. Use a laptop or a desktop computer. If you don't have any of those, you can use your cell phone. But please, if you are using your cell phone, be sure that during the time of the interview, you are not going to receive a phone call. As soon as you receive a phone call, the Zoom cuts off. So please prepare. You have from now on to your interview day to prepare. Show the whites that you are prepared for this interview. You are serious, you are committed. Charge your laptop, update your computer, and then find a good internet connection. Oh my God, my people. Find a good internet connection. Even in this small Zoom meeting orientation, I have received messages from you already. Oh, I didn't get the first part of the message because my internet was poor. Please find a good internet connection. If you don't have enough data, buy enough data. If your area, the internet connection is bad, you already know. It is not that day you are coming to say, oh, I didn't know the internet connection in my room was bad. I didn't know the internet connection in my area is bad. Make sure you connect at least 15 minutes ahead of the time you have you've been given. So if you are supposed to be interviewed at 2 o'clock, connect at 1:45. Don't connect at 2:05. If you can be late to Zoom meeting, then you cannot work for United Methodists. You're not traveling anywhere. On your phone or on your laptop, click to connect, and you can allow time to be late. Then you are not serious. Communicate with your household. If you live with other people, let them know when and where you are interviewing. Right before your interview starts, remind them to give you space and keep a quiet volume until you are done. It's best that those you live with remain in a separate room than you, so you can stay focused. Last interview, a lady was interviewed close to a kitchen, and you can hear saucepans crunching in the kitchen. She was disqualified. Wear professional attire. Dress exactly how you would during an in-person interview. This means you wear the clothes appropriate for your industry or your profession and makes you feel comfortable. Keep your screen clear. Now, what are some of the questions you're going to be asked? Pay attention here. If you need to take a screenshot, go ahead. Tell me about yourself. Why are you interested in working for United Methodists? Why are you interested in working with us? Tell me about your education. Why have you chosen this particular field? Why have you chosen to be a nurse, a midwife, a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor, a physician assistant, and so on and so forth? Describe your best or worst boss. My brothers and sisters, when this question comes, the best way to answer this question is to picture somebody in your mind. You can actually mention somebody by name. Oh, my worst boss is my next manager, Madam So-so and so. She is mean to me. She yells at me anytime I come to work. When I make a mistake, she will scream at me. And so on and so forth. Or you can picture a good boss in your mind. You can mention the name. My best boss is Mr. So-so and so. When I am down, he talks to me to encourage me. When I have a bad day at work, when a patient comes to misbehave, he encourages me. You can actually identify a real scenario, either a positive scenario or a bad scenario to talk about. And then you mention the role that your best boss or your worst boss played in that scenario. Another question could be, what is your major weakness? My brothers and sisters, we all have weaknesses. Don't come there and say, oh, me, I don't have any weakness. Oh, I'm all right. That itself is a weakness. But not identify that is a weakness for you is a major minus. So think of a weakness. It could be the way you speak. Some talks very fast. Some stammer. Some are not able to stand in front of large crowds. Some have stage fright. Some are not able to stand certain customers, certain customer behavior. Mention it. Now, by the time you always end a description of your major weakness with what you are doing to improve that weakness. So if you have a problem with speaking, you can say, I have a counselor helping me to overcome my public speaking disorder, something. Okay. All right. So these are some of the questions you are likely to be asked. I used to have questions you can also ask yourself when you are invited to ask questions by your interviewer. When I get it, I'll share it on the interview page for you. I'm going to share a list of okay. So we're going to share a list of likely interview questions that will come, and then possible question you as the interviewer can, as the interviewee can ask your interviewer. To end up, the interview is, see, the Americans, when they are conducting interview, it's not the rigid type of interview we have here in our part of the world. It's a conversation. It's a dialogue. They will crack jokes. They will try to push you to the wall. It's all to identify who you are. Okay? It's all aimed at identifying who you are. To work as a nurse, as a CNA, as an RN, your work deals with the lives of patients, human beings. You must be somebody who is warm, who is likable, who is nice person. Okay? So come to the interview happy. If you are sad that day, throw it away. You must be happy, smiling. Okay, during the interview, don't frown, don't squeeze, smile a lot. Okay, but don't laugh, don't overdo it. That way they will know that you are faking it. On that note, thank you very much. Do you have any question for me, please? Any question, any comment, any concern for the interview? Okay, we don't seem to have any question. Please go to Facebook, go to the website, on the internet, Google United Methodist, Google Agunado Recruitment Agency, read about it. The organizations, read about them. There are a lot of information there for you. Read about it. Make sure you know the organization very well, so that things you should know already, you are not going, it's not now that you are going to ask. When you are given the opportunity to ask questions, please don't ask a question. Oh, so what is the job description of a CMA? My God, you should have known that before you come to the interview. Google and find out. Okay, ask anybody else. Those of you who came recommended by Patricia. Patricia is a CNA. Ask her, what is the job description of a CNA? Okay. Now, somebody was going to ask a question.
Yes, please. Please, what's the age limit for the applicants?
Oh, okay. We want to recruit people who have at least completed some form of tertiary education. But if it's an SHS graduate who is matured, it's fine, once they can pass the interview. We have had students, university students, go through the interview, and by the time you are done, you know this person is not mature. The way they talk, the way they act, they are not matured. So we want people who are matured. Then the upper age limit, we are not recruiting people who are beyond the retirement age. So anything beyond, in between there, we are good to go.
Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome. Albert, You said, please, I have finished writing my exams, but I haven't been called yet for the interview. Albert, I am so sure we have called you, you didn't answer the call. If you haven't been called yet, get in touch after the interview, we'll call you again. Then Bryce says, can you leave your microphone on mute when you start the interview? Yes, leave it on mute when you start, but when you finish speaking, mute whilst the interviewer is speaking. It's just a tap to unmute, tap to mute. It's as simple as that. Okay. Albert, please get in touch. Albert, could you be here then get in touch so that we can arrange your interview for you? All right. Do we have any other question? Okay, can we resend a new resume if we did not add our family to our resume? Oh, yes, please do. If you have not indicated your marital status on your resume, and majority of you did not, please redo the CV and resubmit. I want to end on this note. Now, before I say the note, we have had a situation where in the CVs of some applicants, they have indicated in their CV that they work at, say, Konfuanoche Teaching Hospital, Kolebu Teaching Hospital. We do a background check, and that person does not exist in any of those facilities. Please, every single information you disclose in your CV will be verified, will be checked. A background search will be conducted. A due diligence will be conducted on you. So please make sure you are providing verifiable information, truthful information. We know that some of you have tried other agencies before, and some agencies require that you are a nurse of a certain caliber, that you work in a certain facility with a number of bed capacity before you can be recruited. You must have a number of years experience before you can be recruited. With us, we don't have such requirement. You can be a fresh graduate from school. In fact, there are some of you currently doing your degree programs, and yet you're on this program. You can be somebody working in a CHIPS compound, in a clinic, in a health center, in a one-man clinic. It can be somebody who have no health experience at all. And we are ready to take you through our processes and get you there, provided you have the right attitude, motivation, and you are a likable and a warm person. The rest is knowledge. We will train you to get that knowledge and the skills. So please don't lie on your CV. It will go against you. Okay, so Margaret Boateng, you said I haven't been called yet. You haven't been called yet? Margaret, are you sure? We have called almost everybody. If you haven't been called, just get in touch after the this orientation. And then the only name I see is I am invisible himself. Please, I have also not been called for the interview. Mr. or Madam, I am invincible himself. Please get in touch when the orientation is over. Eli Kulim, yes, you can call to verify the date for your interview. All right. Finally, this program is almost the first of its kind in Ghana. It is a program that has existed in Southeast Asia. The Philippines, they have sent hundreds of thousands of nurses to the US. Every year they do. They have a sponsorship from their government, and they've been doing it for years now. As an official bilateral agreement between some countries and the US government to send nurses, doctors, healthcare workers, and other workers to the States. In our part of the world, we don't have such bilateral agreement. This is the first of its kind. Our program is completely different from what others are doing. So please don't have the confusion of others. Don't add the confusion the others are doing ours. Separate. If there's anything you don't understand, ask. We have created various WhatsApp pages and Telegram pages. If you are not on any of them, you must be on one. We keep sending you emails. In the email we send you, there are links to WhatsApp pages, there are links to Telegram pages. Check. The sad thing we have noticed about 90% of you, you don't read. The answer to questions you have always been in front of you. They have been in your emails. People ask, what are the steps for the program? What's the duration of the program? Have you read your mails? We send you mails. Read them carefully. The answers are in there. It is sad most of you don't read. From now onwards, as you prepare yourself to fulfill your American dream, please change a new leaf. Learn to read carefully. And then your IT skills, improve upon it. There are no excuses when it comes to IT skills in the US. It is not acceptable. Nobody is going to accept that, oh, I come from Ghana where the internet is poor and IT skills is poor. Oh boy, what are that? You are not going anywhere. Better learn and improve now. We thank you all for joining us on this session. We hope you have been informed and you have been oriented. If you have any questions, post them on the pages you are and we'll respond them promptly and provide you with answers. Thank you all and have a good evening. Goodbye to you all.
Goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.